Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Yes. Got a pretty interesting show for you here tonight. As you can see, it's just going to be me. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on some of the things that's going on. And as you can see, we got two LeBron James topics here. Why? Because LeBron James is just a gift that keeps on giving. And I definitely have some thoughts on some of this stuff I've heard recently. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a few minutes here and hopefully we get some more bodies in the chat. And then we are going to go ahead and get into it. But before we do that, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. Sports T, what's good, Dominique?
Hey, Bruce, how's it going? I'm loving the show today. I love these topics. Oh my gosh, they're really just amazing. So
appreciate it.
Great discussion today. So first part of your question is, what do I think about him saying at a very young age he wanted to erase Michael Jordan and the other number 23?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you can't possibly want to erase it if you want to be 23.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own number, make a name for yourself with your own number. Why use 23? If you want to erase, so you want to be known as 23 is what you're saying, when
Right.
It wasn't your number. So that's what I think. What was it? Rashad McCants was saying on Gilbert Arenas, you can't erase something that someone else created,
Right.
And I think maybe perhaps what LeBron was trying to do was redefine it, right? Okay, I want to redefine what 23 means, but you would have to be better than that. To your point, wouldn't you have to do things better?
I would
Not
think so.
just different, but actually better, meaning
Yes.
you would have to win more, because that's why people play the game. Play to win.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't win more, if you didn't face tougher competition, if the game wasn't actually harder,
Mm-hmm.
the game is not harder than
Right.
it was in the 80s or the 90s.
Right.
Right? I mean, even just the resources that you have. I mean, I applaud Michael Jordan for playing in those sneakers. I couldn't play. I'll put on LeBron before I put on a pair of Jordans, because they're just so much more comfortable to play in.
Right.
The resources, the kind of conditioning that you're exposed to now versus back then, you had to have a lot of mental toughness to play, in Michael Jordan's league.
Oh, yeah.
You had to be extremely disciplined and mentally tough, right? And then what was the second part of the question? Why do I think, what was it?
So what was it? So the first one was thoughts on the comments. And then the second part was, why do you think that he basically skipped out and decided to try and take the easy way in every opportunity that he could?
Because basically once you commit to something, right, and you're saying these things from a young age, which again, I think is really disrespectful, because LeBron is probably the most divisive player we've ever seen in the history of sports. So sports have, for the longest time, brought people closer together. No matter what your political beliefs are, religious beliefs, no matter what side of whether you're blue or red, sports brings people together at a dinner table.
That's
and
true.
LeBron basically separates people now, right? People don't get along over this debate. People can't sit in the same room over this debate.
Right.
Honestly, I can barely have LeBron fans at my sports table, because the delusional,
Right.
things that come out of their mouths is just I can't even tolerate it, right? So it's extremely divisive. So that's what I think about that piece. And the reason why I think that he had to skip around is because his game just wasn't good enough. He never went to college. And so minus the fact that, the entire family has less than 12 months of college education between all of them,
Right.
you have LeBron, who never got to work on his game beyond high school. And it stayed the same. And teams, players, coaches had to protect that game because it just wasn't good enough, right? You have to have spot up shooters. You have to basically bum rush the lane. Refs have to let you drop your shoulder into the paint just because your game is not what it should be. It's not fundamentally sound enough, and it's not conducive for team play.
So,
I mean, we literally just watched two small forwards get kicked off the team and or benched for LeBron. That both of those small forwards are better than LeBron at this state in his career.
right. So let me play devil's advocate here, right? For those who would say, to your point of he never went to college, you're going to have a lot to say, well, Kobe never went to college. So to that, you say what?
He had to work on his game as soon as he came into the NBA. He got benched. He wasn't immediately thrust into the spotlight of being that guy on a team. Kobe Bryant went to the Lakers. He wasn't that guy on the Lakers immediately. They knew he would be, but Shaq was, he was the veteran. He was the one, right? He was the first option. So he didn't have to come in and be a first option. He immediately, he was given an opportunity to learn, develop his game. And I think that even he's grateful for that. So no matter what the narratives are, oh, he wasn't driving the bus when he first got the Lakers, he doesn't deserve, like, by the time they, he was able to really show what he could do, they were in the finals.
Right.
They had a 3-peat. So that's what happens when you actually come in, you work on your game, and you try to develop. And not for nothing, but Kobe Bryant was fundamentally sound in high school. He was fundamentally sound in high school. He was more ready for the NBA than LeBron ever was. He was more ready then than LeBron is now.
I agree.
In my personal opinion. He was benched. He was just put on the bench. It wasn't that he wasn't ready. The way he was playing, just all of it. When you take a look at how graceful his game is as well, mixed with the aggression and ability to get to the rim, that's not LeBron's game. He cannot shoot the ball. Over 22 years, he still can't shoot the ball. We watched him shoot bricks in the Olympics. We watched him shoot bricks in elimination games. We watched him brick from the free throw line. I mean, it's not LeBron hate. These are facts. He is great at driving the basketball, and he should have been a power forward, not a point guard or this ridiculous point forward position that he tries to play when he's racking up the stats. And you're manufacturing not just games to you're manufacturing stats and you're manufacturing wins. So, I do believe that he had to skip around because once you put it out there, whether it's to the media, the press, a person, to any person that you are better than, that you're going to be better than, you're the chosen one, you have to make that come true. That was a marketing ploy by Nike.
It was.
This is something that was manufactured before LeBron even got into the league. I'm going to be compared to Michael Jordan. This is going to be my marketing tool. And this is what's going to keep me in, the mouths of the media forever. Because this is this was the plan the entire time. It's kind of like Kamala, sitting around for 4 years deciding, hey, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait for this guy to become completely incompetent and then I'm going to strike. You know what I mean? It's a plan that you've always had. Like nobody believes that Kamala Harris didn't always plan to run for presidency or take over this ticket. Nobody believes that. Do you? And I don't think anybody believes that LeBron James, didn't always have the plan to try to be better than Michael Jordan. And it's evident by that story that, that they're telling, that he said that he was going to erase 23. It's evident in every single action that he has. And it's divisive because instead of paying respect to people and those that came before you that paved the way for you, he would never have been able to get a lifetime Nike deal if not for Michael Jordan.
Right.
And does he deserve that lifetime Nike deal? I don't even think it's deserved because, and I'm going to say the reason why is not because he's not a great player, but nobody wants those sneakers.
That's what I was about to say.
Every single drop.
Yeah, I don't think
every single drop is a sale. I can get LeBron's on sale every single time. I never have to spend full price.
Yeah, I don't think he's moving.
Them because I want to beat them up on the court.
Right. I don't think he's moving units anywhere near Mike. I think they said that Michael Jordan still outsells every active NBA player combined. So
still,
yeah, that's crazy.
He still does. They can't. So imagine if Michael Jordan's jerseys were still available.
Right.
LeBron's wouldn't be sold out. They have to take his stuff off the shelves in order for LeBron's 23 to move. LeBron's 23 would not move if Michael Jordan's jersey was available in stores. LeBron's, like a simple painting of LeBron that I have one for $39.99 from Kohl's on my wall, but that's because you can't get anything Michael Jordan in stores.
Right.
But if you could, LeBron's, name and likeness would not move as fast still.
Fair enough.
It's just true.
Right. So let me push back on.
Bruce?
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me push back on one thing you said, though. So going into year 22, it took a long time, but I think he shot almost 40% from three last year. It took a long time, but he did knock down threes last year. So I will give him credit for that.
How many threes is he shooting? I'm not going to give him credit because how many threes is he shooting, Bruce?
I don't have the numbers on that. I don't have it up right now.
I know you don't, because Darvin Ham required him to shoot more threes this season, him and Anthony Davis. And JJ Redick is going to require him to shoot more threes as well.
Right. So then we'll see where the numbers are.
Yeah, but have you ever seen LeBron make a three where it mattered or where it counted? He still disappears in the fourth quarter, still can't hit threes in the fourth quarter, still can't hit threes in elimination games.
Right.
We saw him try to have an iconic Michael Jordan shot in in one of, I think it was game 1 or 2 of, the Denver Nuggets series.
Okay. I was thinking
slightly, took a wide open three and bricked it. He's still shooting bricks. The form is still the same. So the percentage doesn't matter when your form is still the same and your free throw percentage is still in the 70s percentile.
Okay, that's fair. I will say,
if you shot 40% from three at the end of your career,
right,
and you're shooting, anywhere from 8 to 12 threes in a game.
No, I hear that.
The percentage should be higher. He's shooting as often as Steph Curry, but he's not like.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Bruce?
No, I get what you're saying.
Winning, so the 40% is great. If it impacted winning, I'd be ecstatic for LeBron. I'd be like, wow, they made it to the Western Conference Finals again. It wasn't a fluke the year before.
Right.
But we all know it was because they had to manufacture that run to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they're manufacturing so much so that, okay, if we win this game, if we lose this game, we'll match up with this team and we'll get this person in the first round. That's what they're looking to do. Yeah. Everything is about manufacturing. They don't actually want to compete.
No, you're right.
It can be a new day all it wants to be, but the new day is, hey, I don't want to compete.
Well, I've always said that about LeBron, but
that's the new era. That's the
I was
new
about
mindset.
to say, and
I
it's
don't
not
want to
just
compete.
him.
I don't want to play. I have mental health issues. Everything is mental health now. Back in the day, we didn't have the luxury of saying, I just mentally I can't shoot the ball and still collect $40 million.
Figure it out.
But to still collect those paychecks.
That's true. Yep.
You know what I mean? That we didn't have that. Nobody had the luxury to do that. So LeBron is able to not just be considered one of the best players, of all time, but he's able to be considered that when he just did not, accomplish enough. Not in 22 years. 22 years, 4 rings. And you're calling yourself the GOAT and other people are calling you that. That's a problem.
Yep. Quick side note, when you were talking about LeBron trying to hit big threes, I immediately went to in the Olympics when Steph Curry was going off and he tried to pull up and hit a hero three. And I'm like, stop.
And bricked it.
Stop. That's not you.
And we were all wondering why did you shoot that? You're not that guy. Get your big body and bum rush the lane.
Right.
That's what you need to do. Freight truck it through the lane because that's what you can do, and we're all good with that.
Well,
and we know that that's all you can actually do, especially down the stretch.
You know why he took that shot, though.
Because you won't stand up at the free throw line.
Yeah, but I don't even think it was so much that. It was that, he's a narcissist. He knew Steph. Right. He knew Steph Curry was getting all the attention. He
wants to be in the 3-point party.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to take this hero shot. I mean, can you imagine if he had made that? Everyone. Anyway.
But we would have been happy if he would have made it, whether it was a fluke, whether it was a freak of nature, we would have been happy. I would congratulate if LeBron was hitting clutch shots, go-ahead shots, especially on a stage where everybody else has been outplaying him in every single game. You know, I watched the show of you and Transformer saying that you were fine with LeBron being Olympic MVP.
Yeah, I was
Why?
okay with it.
But why are you okay with it?
Because
he wasn't the best player in any game, Bruce.
Yeah, but I felt like he was the most consistent player of.
But that's not why we pick MVP.
Yeah, but you can't pick it off of 2 games out of 6 though. That's my thing.
You can't pick it off of 2 games out of 6. But LeBron literally played the most minutes. So how does that make you the best? That makes you the best because you had the most minutes to play. Everybody else was more efficient than you. Everybody.
All right. Well,
I'm saying Kevin Durant outscored him, I think, in every single game in less minutes.
I think LeBron was the second leading scorer on the team, actually. I think. I would have to check, but I believe so.
I don't know. When you play 33 minutes and you're doubling guys that are better than you at this point in your career in minutes, and you didn't outplay anybody in any game, I don't see how that's Olympic MVP. When you had the most turnovers throughout the whole series as well. He had 20 plus turnovers over a course of 6 games.
Yeah, that's a lot. What's that? Almost 4 a game.
That's not Olympic MVP. And you forced Kawhi Leonard off the team. Because he didn't pass to you during practice.
Yeah, that was interesting.
LeBron went complaining to the coach. Clippers president of basketball operations had an interview and said they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think I heard that on your show.
That's Olympic MVP, that you have to manufacture one of the best small forwards in the game, who this could probably be their last Olympics playing.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get them off the team in order to look good. That's not Olympic MVP.
All right,
Michael Jordan didn't remove Isaiah Thomas because Isaiah Thomas was going to outshine him during the Olympic Games. He just didn't like him, which I'm not saying is any better, but he didn't have to manufacture being the best guy on that team.
Right.
And people want to change history, right? Oh,
they do.
Michael Jordan lost to the college team. He was benched that game. Chuck Daly made it so that they lost to them.
Yeah. They did that on purpose. Yep. Because the next game they came back and they destroyed them dudes.
Exactly. But Michael Jordan wasn't on the floor for that. So people, like I said, like to revise history for LeBron because that's what plays into a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That somehow makes LeBron the GOAT, and he's still not. If we want to sit here and say Michael Jordan's not the GOAT, I'm fine with that because I don't believe there is a GOAT. But it damn sure isn't LeBron. I can tell you that right now.
Fair enough. All right, D, we're going to leave it right there.
All right, Bruce. Always a pleasure. Great
absolutely. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it anytime.
No doubt. Listen up, y'all. So that's Dominique from Sports Tea. Make sure you head over to Sports Tea on YouTube. Subscribe to that show. Another really good sports talk show there. And you can also find her usually on Full Panel Fridays on the Man Down Sports podcast. So make sure y'all do that.
Shout out to you, Bruce. You're the best.
Absolutely.
Have a good one, okay?
All right, later, D.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.